The internet is a powerful tool of our modern world. Any question can be answered with a simple search term, and any interest can lead us to a group of like-minded people. But as we hit enter, what shows up on our screen is unlike any horror we can imagine.
Never mind. That voice is going to get old fast. Welcome to the Dinopedia Iceberg, which will be a small series dedicated to everyone's favorite cesspool. That's right, I'm diving deep into the lore and interacting with some of the weirdest parts of the community. If you've never seen one of these before, how? Okay, so well-known stuff is going to be at the top for everyone to see. And as you go deeper down, you get weirder stuff you've never heard of and probably don't care about. And if you do, so I'll be covering tons of random tidbits of information about the wiki, its members, and random events that have happened, both from my time here and long before it. From basic stuff like, what's a main page, to esoteric knowledge of the lizard overlord's secrets to invade the internet and make us their slaves to their warped image of control. And like, silly stuff too. And before any of you guys go, hey, you forgot about this niche thing from 2022. No, I didn't. And it was too stupid to put in, so don't even bother. I'm looking at you. And here's a picture of the iceberg that we'll be using. Is it still scrolling? There's a total of 9 tiers on this iceberg, and we're going to do the top 3 today. So while we'll still get into interesting stuff you may have never heard of, I'm still the most mysterious thing in the video. And because this is a website instead of a cool video game iceberg, there's not a lot of footage to show you, so random pictures it is. Alright, so now without further ado, guys, let's get into the berg. This layer is going to be pretty common knowledge for anyone who's been here for more than 8 seconds, but I'm going to cover it anyway because I know someone's going to go, hey, you forgot about that. Yep, there it is. Okay, so this wasn't the most interesting way to start the list, but we gotta get out of the way, alright? The main page is like sort of homepage for all fandom wikis. It was made in 2006 by a now anonymous user. It looks like he copy-pasted it from the Halo wiki because there's still some links in the first revision. But we've gotten new revisions over the years, and basically all it does now is introduce newcomers to the wiki and link them to all the important stuff like our staff and other places. Okay, you get the point here. Okay, it's going to be like this for the first few minutes. This is the off-topic post that's been going strong since 2022. It's been made by the user Somewhat Inked, also known as Duck. He's not very active anymore, but you've probably seen him. A lot of crazy things have happened in this chat, including some things that are on this very iceberg. It also inspired the Chaos Zone on the Jurassic Park wiki. And because we're awesome, we changed it to the Bat thread. Every cool franchise needs a mascot, right? Well, we're not a franchise, but we got some anyway. Okay, we've had Triceratops on that logo for ages now, and he's also on the front page. We got Microraptor that appears here and there on our stuff, and Edmontosaurus shows up in the background of the site, unless you're a light mode user, but like, that's what you get for using light mode. And we also have a Historian Dinocheirus that's on the history wall. That'll be explained in a little bit. Of course I know them. It's me. Staff are basically the guys who are promoted and are meant to be the role models and caretakers of Dinopedia. I say supposed to because I'm actively writing the script to avoid going on the wiki. The ones at the time of this video include me, the King, Voyager, Kelbeam, Savage Almond, and Yankees Are Awesome. There's more, but they don't even do anything, so maybe I should just remove all of them, except for me. You know? Every time I speak the word Discord, I can feel myself gain more pounds, man. Anyways, our wiki has an official public server where people can go to goof off with less restrictions from the tyrannical fandom. And it goes by the same name of the nest because we're so good at naming things we used the same thing twice. There have been multiple other unofficial servers before this one, but each one died for one reason or another. Except for the now unused Main Republic, which I vaguely remember, but I don't know where it's at. And now, a few words from the owner of the server himself, Paleo. Welcome to the interview, Paleo. So, How is it as the owner of a public community server? It's super large at almost 200 members, and it's active every day. Must be hectic.
Everyone there is kind of pure evil. I never knew it was possible. Jokes aside, it's not actually bad, so long as people actually follow the rules and aren't jerks to each other, which is like 99% of the time. I don't have to do much.
So, what's your opinion of the old servers before this newest one?
The old servers had their ups and downs. Mostly they were absolutely chaotic, although most of that was because I was a wee lad who had absolutely no idea how to run a server, let alone enforce rules properly. I don't hate them, I just think especially the ones I owned could have been handled in a more competent way.
That's great to hear. Speaking of learning experiences, what is one thing you would change about this current server if you could?
Bro, I give everyone rabies, yeah? I give everyone rabies, yeah?
That's great to hear. I just have one more question. Please, can I be just promoted on there, please? I'm a bureaucrat on the wiki, but I'm a nobody on there, please, I'm begging. Dinopedia has lots of pages. Most of them suck, but we have a few that we're pretty proud of, I think. And we get a lot of guests that visit. Popular animals like Tyrannosaurus and recent documentaries like Prehistoric Planet get tons of traffic from edits and just reading it. Always makes me more embarrassed whenever I see guys like Stegosaurus that have like barely anything on it. The history wall is essentially doing the job that I'm doing right now, so just shut up. It's got plenty of historical accounts from Dinopedia's past and has documented every major event in the community that we know. Sure, it's exaggerated like an epic tale of old for humor's sake, but it's still good. It makes me feel wonderful whenever I see that there's been nothing happening lately, so the walls has not been updated since last year. It also features the Dinocheirus Historian, my copyright infringing son, which we stuck at the top because why not? We are now at layer 2. So this is when we finally start getting into things that are a bit less known. But you'll probably find out about these within a few weeks on the website. WWW is short for Who Would Win. Who Would Wins are essentially polls that shove two guys together and you pick who would win. And because every dinosaur fan is 11 years old, these were pretty popular for a while, until very recently, either because they caused a lot of arguments or the matchups were just dumb, so people would just stop doing it. If you know the user Fire Campaign, or just looked at any art post recently, you'll know that every one of them will have his reply underneath where he says, cool art. It's nothing crazy, but it does mean every art post will be guaranteed to not be completely ignored, so why not ask the man himself? So, what inspired you to say cool art so much?
I first said cool art in January 2023 to compliment an art post on another wiki. I thought it would be funny if I just kept saying it on every art post I saw, so I did just that for the next 2 years during my time there. When I came to Dinopedia in August that year, I continued complimenting art in the same way for a while. I've said cool art so many times, over 1,000 times on Dinopedia alone.
Wow, 1,000 already? Sounds like someone needs a shower. Remember those Who Would Wins we just talked about? Or did you skip it, like a nerd? Well, Spinosaurus was kicked out from the club because he's just that controversial. Originally the rule was for every member of the family, Spinosauridae, but now you're restricted to only Spinosaurus because he's the only one that can unintentionally cause a flame war out of nowhere. It doesn't help that he keeps getting new studies that make it more confusing, but that's the rule we have now. Hungry Gaze is a trend on the wiki discussions where posts were made with various characters or dinosaurs in a battle royale scenario using a Hunger Games simulator. These have been decently popular since 2023, with Mimikyutube being the coiner of the term we all use for this series that pop up now and then. As of currently this guy is the main one who's doing them right now. But let's see what the legacy Hungry Gay himself has to say on the subject. So, how'd you come up with the name?
Honestly, I don't fully remember. I think part of it came from the series on YouTube by Rocket Does Stuff called The Hungry Games. and was also focused on putting random characters into a Hunger Games simulator. As for where gays come from, I guess I thought it was funny.
And funny it was. How do you feel about the hungry gays being used today? Do you miss the heyday of when they were super big?
They appear to have died out, but honestly I'm surprised that they became a trend at all. Since I was one of the pioneers and stuff, I would be okay with them coming back too. Naganadel, bring back Slumber Games.
You heard the man. Get to it. Actually, this next question is related. Where is your series?
I swear to you all, on everything I ever cared about, on all of Hobo's Hatsune Miku and Bondru plushies that I know he has, the series will return sometime in June. The reason the next installment hasn't come out yet is quite frankly because the simulator I use, Agma Schwa, is broken and won't let me start a game without freezing my computer up. Speaking of, I intend to get a new laptop sometime after I graduate, since my current one has been through the ringer. The hinges are broken, there's a bunch of cracks I had to cover with tape, and I've also had it since the end of 2021. After I get myself a new laptop, you will encounter the hungry gays in a dark alleyway where no one can find you. Trust.
Didn't ask, but let's move on. Editing challenges are similar to art contests that you may see elsewhere on other communities. But instead of awarding the highest rated artwork, we task users with editing pages of a certain theming. These have been pretty fun month-long events where we give prizes to people who create or edit pages to be well-made and informative, which is much appreciated when you're on a wiki that's mostly unfinished or stolen content. We also low-key use these to scout out for what users might have good potential to be a staff member someday. We've had 3 so far. The first based on birds, the next on pterosaurs, and the most recent was just last month being Forgotten Kingdoms, which covers every life form that is not an animal. We decided to revamp the whole thing this time because the first 2 aren't getting a lot of traffic, so we got a nifty little bingo board and participant prizes too. Also, you didn't hear this from me, but it's like free labor. Like you give them, throw them a bone, and they'll just do stuff for you. It's awesome. WDYLM is an acronym for Who Do You Like More, which was sort of derived from Who Would Wins, except the object of the poll is to pick the species that you prefer, because we're super original and we're really just starved for content. And because Who Would Wins died out, pretty much, these replaced them to the point that this is 80% of every poll that you see anymore, and it's just man, no shade to the people that use them, but it's so repetitive, man. Let me something original, please. Whew, this one's a doozy. Strap in, guys. All right. 4.3.5 years ago, a wise man by the name of Gastonia Lover 69 appeared to make a page by the name of Gastonia Sex Life in 2022 before vanishing again. His creation conveyed vital, long-lost information regarding the courtship ecology of the ankylosaur. As one would expect, it was deleted and the account was banned, but the damage had been done. The page's content made waves in the community from how crazy it was, and it led to later users sometimes adding it to the Gastonia page. It has since become the most iconic copypasta from this wiki, and is by far the most infamous of this community's inside jokes. Some even consider it an unofficial mascot, for better or worse. I know you've been waiting for it, I know you wanted me to say it, so here it comes.
Gastonia was one horny moth. Its entire life was dedicated to pleasing many lovers of many kinds. It was known to produce with not only other Gastonias, but other dinosaurs as well. Its favorite dino to bone was the Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, in many instances, the Tyrannosaurus Rex would turn it back on the Gastonia, and the Gastonia would do the receiving. Many Gastonia lost their lives to the Tyrannosaurus Rex because of its incredibly large reproductive organs. Another fault of the Gastonia was its extremely high sex drive. It would often prioritize sex over food and literally starve and procreate itself to death. There are many fossils of the Gastonia that prove this. They show a collapsed Gastonia that is fully aroused. Gastonia didn't only reproduce though, it was also a massive fan of oral procreation. How the Gastonia did this, it is
Still a mystery to scientists. They hypothesized that it had a jaw different from all dinosaurs, that it was specially shaped to excel in this activity. It has also been proven that Gastonia did not have teeth. This combined with a special jaw has led scientists to believe that the Gastonia gave the best head of all time. This is roughly all we know about the Gastonia, and it remains one of the most mysterious dinosaurs to this day.
I wonder what this one is. Okay, real talk, I forgot to record this line, so I'm doing it at like 1 a.m. right now, because I forgot. Basically, Kelbeam wanted to resign, and we just use this as an excuse to, so, yeah. And now some words from the defendant and the prosecutor.
How's it feel in France, Kel?
Since Kelbeam is a prisoner and therefore stripped of any rights, I shall answer on his behalf. He's horrible, I'd assume. It is a fitting punishment for his heinous crime of jaywalking.
Were there any crimes that weren't brought up in the case?
His dog Susie has committed unspeakable acts, but because we love dogs so much, we've decided to charge him for all her crimes, so she doesn't have to end up in jail.
Now that I'm thinking about it, whatever happened to that lawyer that he had?
He's dead, hobo. You saw him burn to ash. Trying to defend Kelbeam in court banned him from a position in heaven, but because Liopleurodons are too metal to go to hell, he's probably in purgatory.
That's great. Now, Kelbeam, you're not thinking of having any escape plans, are you?
He better not. I already have to deal with incompetent guards all day. I don't need another headache.
I got this shit, I'm getting out of here.
See, I would have put this higher, but the average Dinopedia is either a child or just doesn't visit the pages very enough to really care. But if you just poke around for just a minute or two, you'll see, boom, stubs, boom, plagiarism, and boom, a third thing. Since I've showed up in 2022, I've seen a great decline in stubs and stolen content, and the standards have gone up a lot. So we are getting better, but it's just a long way to go, man. So me-wins are pretty popular joke formats and definitely not exclusive to us, but Dinopedians love doing it, especially in our Discord server. Especially me. Found in the Wiki Achievements tab is the Hall of Fame, made by little old me. Aww. This is a small record of the biggest achievements on the wiki, for members and pages alike. It's pretty fun for listing milestones and top records for people to beat. It's usually updated when we have a community challenge, like last month's. And, not to brag, but I am the only guy who has the badge of contributing to the wiki every day for a year. No, don't look at that, no! Now we're starting to get in the meat and taters of this establishment. One could say we're diving into some cool stuff here. If you've been here on the wiki for a few months to a year, you probably known about these.
You may have heard of a guy named Lemnywinks if you consulted the archives. But yeah, this user is credited as the creator of Dinopedia, making his account in 2008 and the wiki, followed by the first known edit found on Dinosauria, made by Forerunner in September of that same year. Lemnywinks himself, we don't have any record of his actions on the wiki, only that he created it and left soon after. Some people have found random accounts on other platforms that may be connected to him like a year or two ago, but I will not be showing them for their privacy. So we have nothing conclusive. So we'll never get to meet the guy. He wouldn't like us anyway. I mean, if he saw this Iceberg video alone, I'm sure he'd hate everything he's ever done up to that point. Dinopedia the game was a side project created one day by the user Tyrannosaur125 in mid-2023, and it was a huge thing. The concept was taking characters from our community and making a concept video game for it. And the wiki was meant to be a fake wiki as if the game was real, which was lots of fun. Lemnywinks was the main villain, and a special group of members were the protagonists you could beat up goons with. The largest contributors over the span of this popularity was Mimikyutube, Kelbeam, Duck, me, and many others. Many only showed up to make themselves a page and then leave, but we had quite a lot of lore going that we had put together. The wiki's still around and has almost 200 pages now, which is probably the most successful side project for Dinopedia Not that that's really a high bar, but you know. Alright, so now it's time to interview the creator himself. How did you come up with Dinopedia, the game?
It was originally just a random joke. I wasn't expecting it to get as much traction as it did.
Were you expecting it to be as big as it was in its heyday?
Definitely not.
So, what was your favorite thing about the project?
The community for sure. Dinopedia the game was probably the most collaborative project to come out of Dinopedia.
And how do you feel about the wiki mostly being phased out of popularity since its peak?
I kind of expected it to happen with all the new users joining, not gonna lie.
I don't know if I could ever fully explain this one, but basically, Crude is the name of a series started by Dinopedian Lynx. The great artwork got people hooked immediately, and now it's being developed into a proper graphic web novel series thing. Lynx often gives updates on the wiki from time to time, and even more on the server. My favorite thing in it is Fork, bar none. So, Lynx, in a sentence or two, could you sum the series up for the people that may have not heard of it?
After a severe earthquake, hundreds of workers are trapped underground and presumed dead by the company they work for, all entirely unfamiliar with the horrors they've been locked in with. The plot itself follows a couple of teenagers attempting to find their missing friend, but end up tangled in a web of things they weren't meant to find.
This has been in the making for quite a while, and we've seen a lot of progress over the years. But what would you say inspired the whole series?
There were a lot of different things that inspired it, but I think that what kickstarted me to make it was definitely Murder Drones, despite the lack of similarities in plot. Mostly the sci-fi biomechanical horror theme.
It's not every day we see a writer tackle a graphic novel series instead of normal print, and it's certainly a first for Dinopedia. What would you say is the biggest hurdle to learning comic creation compared to other media?
It takes forever because you have to learn so many different skills to get it to work. Backgrounds, character design, proper anatomy, because your readers will notice, dynamic poses, creature design, and so on. A lot of the process has been revising old work that no longer is up to par, mainly the designs of the characters themselves.
And does your family or friends know about your work? What's their opinion of it?
Yes, my mom's favorite character is Samuel, and she forces me to send her drawings whenever I finish them. She's definitely not a fan of his bat though, and forces me to remove it in the versions that I send her. My sister really likes Crude, and cosplays as one of the characters on Roblox. She won't leave me alone until I finish a drawing for it. Great motivator.
It's great to know that there are people around you that appreciate your work. Speaking of Samuel, I have one final question. Kiss, marry, kill. Blair, Simon, and Samuel are your options.
Kill Blair, kill Blair, kill, kill. Samuel gets a little kiss on the cheek, and I have a restraining order against Simon.
A dark age for Dinopedia is in reference to the history wall, where sometimes people tend to use the term when nothing productive happens or directly after something bad happened, and that little awkward silence after. These were never really that bad. We're just big babies about it. But there's also a counterpart to this, known as the golden age of Dinopedia, whenever something really, really great happens, such as like just higher productivity, tons of new members, things like that. This isn't really a Dinopedia exclusive either, just a lot of people say it on here, so it's worth mentioning. G is a misspelling of huh, and people usually use it to express confusion with something, and it's more common than you think because nothing in this place ever makes any sense, so everyone's always confused. Why is this even on here? This should be common knowledge. I mean, Dinopedians are normal people. They just have an interest in paleontology and stuff. Like, no idea where anyone got the idea that we're like some weird degenerates or something. I mean, come on. Slanders are a meme format that were popular around 2021. And like our pages, we're also very outdated. So we've been making these for years after the entire thing died everywhere else online. The main ones I can think of right now is the one that Kelbean made back in the day, and some really super cool ones made by... Who's this? It's me? No way! You definitely shouldn't, like, check out my other videos on my channel and to watch the Slanders. And you definitely shouldn't, like, subscribe or anything either. Art contests are pretty self-explanatory. The only reason why this is a bit lower is because we held these every once in a while, like with editing challenges, but a lot less common. This one's also had a theme for artists to design something and everyone picks the coolest one. There was one planned for the summer of last year, and that would have been the most recent one, but everyone was busy, so we just gave up on it. This one's a pretty basic one. There's just been times where sore losers will lash out when something happens, such as losing an election or getting banned over something. I don't have much photo evidence of it that I could find that's worth showing, but staff always gets angry messages of people begging to be unblocked for it being unfair, even when it's not. I remember a few guys leaving the wiki after losing an election for mod too. It gets really bad sometimes. If you've ever looked at the wiki's recent changes tab from now to about 4 years ago, you've definitely seen a vandal by some gibberish name that adds animals that don't exist, most famously the woolly giraffe. Now these new pages are completely blank, and I guess it's some sort of joke. He's done it on wikis like the Ice Age wiki and Animal Database 2, and because they're not as active, they usually don't crack down on it as fast as whenever we do, and even then, we still only catch it only a little bit after. So Woolly Giraffe Guy, as we call him, is the most well-known vandal in the wiki's history by far. I've observed a lot of weird things about Dinopedians, and one thing is that everyone seems to be the same person. This can be taken two ways. Many of the dinosaur fans that we all know also happen to be into Godzilla or Transformers or Pokemon and the like, which is expected from their similarity, but it's also kind of weird that it's still such a large majority of people. Many Dinopedians are also dual citizens or ex-members of other wikis like Gojipedia or the Jurassic Park wiki. This entry can also mean just that there's a lot of users that act very similarly, as if they had the exact same personality and it's just the same guy with 800 accounts. It's a large complaint among old members, including me, seeing new people show up and they have nothing that makes them unique at all, not even their speech patterns, and it's just really funny. Quay and Troy are two silly small animals that are from old memes as shown here. Quay is a white dwarf hamster, and Troy is a rain frog. The latter had a small trend where people would change their profile picture to him. In fact, two still have them. Both have emotes on the server, and in my opinion are sort of mascots for the Discord server because we always feature it somewhere in our imagery, sometimes even on the nest. The Tyrant universe is connected to the Spinwheel battle trend, using them as a sort of basis for the story's events. Legacy members like Savage Almond, Ganymede, Kelbeam, Mimikyutube, Titanosaurus 80, and more all came together to make a collaborative story. The plot centered around fictional versions of these users, named Tyrants, in a world called Tyrantia, I know, real original, who would make creatures from across media to make them fight. The champions of these battles would then work to fight against the Tyrants. It's a super large crossover with tons of franchises like Star Wars and Ultraman. There's probably enough lore for this thing to get its own Iceberg, I'm not gonna lie. Let me read here. There's numerous civilizations, recurring characters and arcs, and alternate timelines. Man, this is deep. The series is still ongoing with its own fandom wiki and Discord server, though both aren't near as active as Dinopedia or anything like that. Things have slowed down and new users definitely don't know much about it, which is why it's down this far. But it was a popular series from a bygone era, so it's worth mentioning. We have Mimikyutube back for another interview, since he's one of the biggest makers of these original series. I get the feeling this was probably your favorite Dinopedia project you've worked on with how intricate it appears to be. Is it?
Tyrant Universe is far and away my favorite Dinopedia-related project I've ever been involved with only Dinopedia the game and this Iceberg coming close. I think the Tyrant Universe might actually be my favorite project, period. There's just a lot to like about it, like it being a collaboration between me and a few other users, all the chicanerous characters and stories, the fact that most of it fits together in one big timeline, and much more. I actually intend to fully animate it one day, which will probably take the rest of my life, but I will get it done.
And because there is an overarching plot, is there a story arc in particular you'd like to mention to the audience, perhaps to convince them to check it out?
My favorite is the Unholy Ultraman Kaiju fight by Kelbeam, but there's a couple other Tyrant Universe series I would recommend, assuming that whoever reads them has a good idea of the lore and all that, all of which you can find here. Hobo, put it in the description or something, please.
Sure thing. Just one more thing. What's your real name?
What?
Alright, I'll be asking the same questions for Interstellar Voyager, another maker of these. I get the feeling that this is probably your favorite Dinopedia project too. Is it?
It is indeed my favorite project. Working on this collaborative project helped me grow closer to the other folks involved. It was fun to see how other people would use your contributions to the story.
I agree. Those are some of my favorite kinds too. And because there is an overarching plot, is there a story arc that you'd like to mention that Mimikyutube did not?
I'd say go check out both Almond and Mimic's first projects, as these were the two first spin-wheel battles to be connected to each other. The stories of these two projects were being posted and occurring at the same time in the same universe. It grew out from there. The older spin-wheel battles by Kelbeam and a Jurassic Park wiki user named Luke were added to the canon, and eventually me and some other users added their own spin-wheel battles to the canon. It also introduced some of the most important stuff to the universe, like the concept of tyrants, the main villain Plateosaurus gracilis, and our first set of protagonists. Also, they are not as complicated as future projects, considering this is the foundation.
This one's pretty simple. Susie is just Kelbeam's dog. He posts about her from time to time, and she's included in every single project he's ever worked on, from Dinopedia the game to Tyrant Universe. She's 5 years old now, and she's quite the wild creature. She's not too notable in Dinopedia lore or anything, which is why we explain her placement, but she's a loved character, you could say, of the older Dinopedian members. It's always interesting hearing about the lore of esteemed Dinopedians outside of the typical web forums, and some words from her owner himself, Kelbeam. What breed is Susie? Or is she a unique organism?
Susie's a mutt. She's Warnacurlian.
What's her favorite color?
I'm curious too. What is it, Susie?
And what's it like living with dog? What she watches. Spinwheel battles are a lot like Who Would Wins, pitting a bunch of users or Dinopedians against each other. But instead of leaving it up to the community to vote, a random wheel is spun to decide who kills who. Wait, this kind of just sounds like Hungry Gaze with extra steps. Oh, am I still recording? A story is usually formed from the results, and people tend to like these. The trend started on the Jurassic Park wiki in early 2021 by the user Luke2910. Kelbeam saw it, and in true Dinopedian fashion, he borrowed the concept, and these are pretty fun little stories for a while. They're done by many users, though they did eventually stop being as frequent by 2023, and now we only get one every blue moon. One of the Spinwheel Battle posters and enjoyers is with me today, Mimikyutube here again. And which would you say is more fun to make, these or Hungry Gaze?
It depends on what type of spinwheel battles we're talking about. Since I have more fun making spinwheel battles connected to the Tyrant universe, and either way, they don't take nearly as long as the average Hungry Gaze installment. However, I think Hungry Gaze is inherently more fun to make, since there's more variety in their rosters, and all I really have to do is take a ton of screenshots and add some commentary whenever I can. It should be noted that I haven't been making spinwheel battles as much as I used to, but that'll change eventually.
Great, we'll all be looking forward to it. So are you and your affiliates going to pay royalties to Luke for stealing his original work?
No. If he wants these royalties, he'll have to come to Dinopedia and pry them out of all of our cold, dead hands.
Wow. Do you think Spinwheel battles could survive at its largest size in today's community environment? Or were they only good for the time, only showing up here and there?
Honestly, given that the new users on here have the mental capacity of a comatose goldfish, I feel like spinwheel battles as a concept would die out immediately if they're introduced today. It's not that they're super complicated, but they're just complicated enough for the average new users to probably not care. But yeah, I think they're better off only showing out from time to time. But who knows? Maybe whenever that happens, someone will be inspired to make their own.
Does a specific spinwheel battle come to mind as your favorite?
My favorite by a long shot is the Unholy Ultraman Kaiju fight by Kelbeam over on the Tyrant Universe wiki. Basically, the premise is that the...
And that's all the time we have.
Wait, I wasn't finished!
I hope you enjoyed our interview. And that brings us to the end of the first third of our iceberg. As you can see, there's a lot of interesting things that happen on this wiki, be it common knowledge and jargon. But this is only the beginning. I hope you liked the video, subscribe or something, and please comment any cool things you'd want to see in the icebergs later. I'm always free to add more. This has been Hubbo's Dinopedia Iceberg, and I'm out.